Imagine, if you will, a gentle awakening. Not a jarring alarm, but the slow, sun-drenched rise of consciousness after a long, deep slumber. That's the feeling of the Renaissance, a time of rebirth, a blossoming after a long intellectual winter. Picture a world emerging from the shadows, stretching its limbs and blinking in the light of rediscovered knowledge. We're not talking about a sudden explosion, mind you, no booming trumpets or crashing cymbals. Instead, think of a quiet unfolding, a gradual dawning. For centuries, Europe had been nestled under a blanket of medieval traditions, a time often characterized by faith and a focus on the spiritual. But now, a new curiosity was stirring, a whisper of the classical world, a faint echo of ancient Greece and Rome began to filter through the hushed halls of monasteries and the bustling marketplaces of Italian cities. Think of a scholar, perhaps in Florence, meticulously copying ancient texts, painstakingly restoring faded words from crumbling scrolls. Each carefully drawn character is a tiny flame, rekindling the embers of lost knowledge. These weren't just dusty relics, they were portals, opening windows onto worlds of philosophy, mathematics, and art that had been forgotten for centuries. Think of the thrill of discovery, the quiet joy of understanding something new, a feeling as warm and comforting as a crackling fireplace on a chilly evening. And as these ancient texts were rediscovered, so too was the art of creating. Imagine a young painter, his fingers stained with pigments, carefully blending colors, capturing the light on a face, the subtle curve of a landscape. It wasn't just about religious iconography anymore. Artists began to explore the human form in all its beauty and complexity, creating portraits filled with life and emotion. They studied human anatomy, not just from religious texts, but from observation. They painted the world around them, the bustling city streets, the rolling hills of the Tuscan countryside, all with a newfound attention to detail and a sense of realism that was breathtakingly new. Architects, too, were inspired by this rediscovery. Think of the majestic cathedrals that had been built centuries before, their soaring arches and intricate details pointing towards heaven. Now, alongside these were being constructed buildings that echoed the grandeur of ancient Rome. Buildings that were both beautiful and practical, reflecting a balanced perspective between the earthly and the divine. This wasn't a rejection of the past, but an expansion, a building upon existing foundations with a newfound confidence and an eye towards the future. This Renaissance wasn't just about art and architecture, though. It was a time of scientific inquiry, too. Think of astronomers gazing at the stars with newly invented telescopes, challenging long-held beliefs about the cosmos. Think of inventors, their minds buzzing with ideas, tinkering away in workshops, creating tools and machines that made life easier and more efficient. It was a time of experimentation, of questioning, of gentle exploration, all contributing to a growing sense of wonder and optimism. So, let the quiet rhythm of this narrative lull you into a peaceful slumber. Let the gentle imagery of the Renaissance carry you away to a time of rebirth and rediscovery, a time of quiet contemplation and burgeoning creativity. Let the echoes of ancient wisdom and the whispers of new knowledge settle over you, bringing a calm and serene rest. Sleep well. Imagine yourself transported. The year is 1300. Picture cobblestone streets, the scent of wood smoke and baking bread mingling in the air. You're in Italy, not a unified country yet, but a collection of bustling city-states, Florence, Venice, Siena. These weren't just places, They were vibrant centers of trade, art, and a slowly dawning awareness. For centuries, the focus had been heavenward, on the divine, on the glories of the afterlife. The Middle Ages, a time of faith and fervent devotion, had shaped lives and landscapes. Cathedrals, towering monuments to God, pierced the sky. But something was stirring beneath the surface, a quiet hum of change. It began subtly, perhaps with a merchant noticing the exquisite beauty of a classical statue unearthed during construction, or a scholar poring over ancient texts, rediscovering the philosophies of Greece and Rome, forgotten wisdom about human reason, about the power of individual thought and action. These weren't dismissed as pagan relics. Instead, there was a curious examination, a gentle probing. What did these ancient thinkers have to say about the human condition, about living a good life here, in this world, not just in the next? Slowly, surely, a new perspective emerged. It wasn't a sudden revolution, more like a sunrise, a gradual brightening of the horizon. It was called humanism, and at its heart was a profound shift in focus, from God alone to humanity itself. Human beings, with their talents, their passions, their capacity for both good and evil, became the central subject of inquiry. Artists began to depict humans with newfound realism, their expressions filled with emotion, their bodies strong and graceful. No longer were they merely figures in a religious scene. They were individuals with stories to tell. Think of Giotto, his frescoes painting people with an unprecedented naturalism, or Petrarch collecting and studying classical manuscripts, meticulously preserving the works of long-dead poets and philosophers, reigniting an interest in the classical world. These weren't isolated events. This burgeoning humanism created a network of scholars and artists, a community of minds exchanging ideas, questioning assumptions, exploring the potential of the human spirit. Universities, originally focused on religious studies, slowly started incorporating the classical curriculum, opening doors to a broader range of thought. The rediscovery of classical learning wasn't about rejecting faith entirely. Many humanist thinkers were deeply religious. But they began to see faith and reason as compatible, not mutually exclusive. They believed that humans, endowed with reason and intellect, could understand the world and their place in it through both divine revelation and human observation. The human mind, they argued, was a gift to be nurtured and explored. The change wasn't fast, nor was it without its challenges. But in those Italian city-states, the seeds of a new era were sown. An era where the human being, in all their complexity and glory, took center stage. And as the sun sets on this chapter of history, feel the quiet strength of this burgeoning movement, the gentle whisper of a new dawn, a dawn focused on the potential of you, of me, of all humankind. Let this peaceful image settle within you as you drift off to sleep. Picture the bustling streets of Florence, a center of artistic innovation. The year is 1400. Imagine the warmth of the Tuscan sun on your skin, the gentle sounds of the Arno River flowing beside you, a constant, soothing rhythm against the backdrop of the city's gentle hum. The air is alive with the scent of wood smoke and simmering stews, a comforting aroma that settles softly around you as you drift off. Let's follow the Arno, its current mirroring the steady flow of life in this remarkable city. We pass workshops where young apprentices carefully grind pigments, their hands moving with practiced ease, creating the vibrant colors that would soon adorn the walls of churches and palaces. The scent of linseed oil mixes with the earthy tones of the paints, a fragrance subtly carried on the evening breeze. Think of a young man named Masaccio, his eyes intensely focused as he works on a fresco, sunlight illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. His revolutionary perspective, his understanding of light and shadow, is slowly changing the way people see the world, one brushstroke at a time. His figures are imbued with a realism that feels almost breathtaking, as if they might step right out of the wall and into your dreams. Further down the river, another workshop hums with activity. Inside, you might catch a glimpse of Donatello, the master sculptor, his chisel carving away at a block of marble, slowly revealing the form of a biblical figure. The rhythmic tap, tap, tap of his chisel against the stone is a gentle lullaby, a comforting repetition as you settle deeper into relaxation. Feel the coolness of the marble in your hand, the weight of its history, the effort and precision that went into bringing it to life. Across the river, the graceful dome of the Florence Cathedral, Brunelleschi's masterpiece, rises towards the evening sky. Imagine the whispers of the many artisans who toiled for years, raising this incredible structure stone by stone, a testament to human ambition and ingenuity. Their collaborative spirit, their shared dedication, a quiet harmony that echoes through time. The rhythm of the city slows as the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the Ponte Vecchio. You hear the gentle murmur of conversations, the clinking of glasses from the osterias, the soft lapping of water against the ancient stonework of the bridge. The city settles into a peaceful slumber, much like you are now. Let the image of these incredible artists toiling away in their workshops, their skill and dedication subtly shaping the world, fill your mind. Let the sounds of the Arno River lull you, its gentle current carrying away any stress or worry. Feel yourself drifting towards sleep, the soft hues of the Florentine sunset painting themselves across your eyelids. Sleep now and dream of the Renaissance. Imagine Florence, a city nestled in the heart of Tuscany, centuries ago. Cobblestone streets wind gently, sunlight dappling the ancient stone. In this setting, the Medici family rose to prominence, not through conquest or war, but through shrewd business and an unwavering passion for beauty. It began, as many great stories do, with modest beginnings. Giovanni di Bicci de' Medici, a shrewd banker, laid the foundation for a dynasty that would redefine the very concept of patronage. His son, Cosimo il Vecchio, or Cosimo the Elder, inherited not only a vast fortune, but also a keen eye for talent. He understood the power of art, not merely as decoration, but as a reflection of the soul of a city, a testament to its values and ambitions. Cosimo wasn't a flashy ruler. He preferred quiet influence, weaving his way through the political landscape of Florence with the grace of a master craftsman. He carefully nurtured the careers of artists like Donatello, the sculptor whose David marked a turning point in Renaissance art, and Fra Angelico, whose frescoes shimmered with ethereal light and serene piety. Think of the quiet dedication it must have taken, the gentle encouragement, the careful cultivation of genius. Cosimo's grandson, Lorenzo il Magnifico, or Lorenzo the Magnificent, inherited this legacy and expanded upon it. He wasn't just a patron, he was a friend and confidant to some of the most brilliant minds of his time. Picture him, perhaps, in a sun-drenched garden, exchanging ideas with Botticelli, discussing the subtleties of human form and divine inspiration. Lorenzo understood that art wasn't just about technical skill. It was about emotion, about capturing the essence of the human experience. He commissioned breathtaking works, filling Florence with masterpieces that would inspire generations to come. Think of Botticelli's Birth of Venus, a vision of ethereal beauty, or Michelangelo's early sculptures, already hinting at the monumental genius to come. These weren't just transactions, these were collaborations, a quiet dance between power and artistry. Lorenzo's influence stretched far beyond the walls of his palazzo. He fostered a spirit of intellectual curiosity, establishing academies and libraries, transforming Florence into a crucible of creativity. He understood that true power wasn't solely derived from wealth, but from fostering a community where art flourished, where ideas blossomed, where every brushstroke contributed to the tapestry of Renaissance Florence. Imagine the hushed reverence in the workshops, the quiet concentration of the artists, each meticulously adding their contribution to the tapestry of Renaissance Florence. Even as the Medici family navigated the complexities of political life, even amidst the occasional tumult and intrigue, their commitment to the arts remained unwavering. Their patronage wasn't a fleeting whim. It was a deep-seated belief in the transformative power of beauty, a testament to their vision of a society enriched by art and culture. And so, as the sun sets on this quiet story of power and artistic influence, you can feel the calm and beauty they cultivated still lingering in the Tuscan air. Let the gentle rhythm of this narrative lull you into a peaceful slumber. Sleep now and dream of Florence. Imagine yourself strolling through the quiet streets of Florence, the sun warm on your face, the air carrying the scent of cypress and sun-baked stone. You're drawn to a small, almost hidden chapel, the light filtering softly through the stained glass. Inside, you find yourself captivated by paintings unlike any you've ever seen. This is the work of Masaccio, a young artist whose life, though tragically short, left an indelible mark on the world of art. He lived in a time of great change, a time when artists were beginning to question the old ways of seeing the world, to look beyond the flat, symbolic representations of the past. Masaccio, with his keen eye and innovative spirit, dared to paint the world as it truly appeared. He discovered a new way to capture not just the what of a scene, but the how it felt to be there, to experience its depth and vastness. This was his revolutionary use of perspective. Picture one of his most famous works. Think of the figures, not simply arranged on a flat surface, but standing within a space that feels truly three-dimensional. Notice how the lines of the architecture recede into the distance, creating a sense of depth that pulls you into the scene. See how those distant buildings appear smaller, the lines converging at a vanishing point far away on the horizon. It's as if the very walls of the chapel have become transparent, and you can almost step right into the painting itself. Masaccio wasn't just playing with lines on a canvas, he was recreating the world's experience of space. It's a subtle shift, but a profoundly important one. Before Masaccio, figures often felt detached, floating against a backdrop that didn't really connect to them. In his paintings, however, the figures are grounded. They inhabit their environment. They are firmly placed within the world. Their interactions with each other and the architecture feel natural, tangible. The light, too, plays a crucial role, not merely a bright wash over the scene, but a source of illumination that creates shadows, highlights, and a sense of atmosphere. This masterful manipulation of light and shadow further enhances the sense of depth and realism. You can almost feel the warmth of the sun on their faces, the cool shade under the archways. The textures of the fabrics, the roughness of the stone, all seem to leap out from the canvas, inviting a closer look, a deeper understanding. As you continue to gaze upon these images, let the sense of quietude wash over you. There's a serenity to Masaccio's work, a stillness that contrasts with the revolutionary nature of his technique. It's a profound and calming experience, inviting reflection and a deeper appreciation for the artistry involved. It's as if he's gently leading you to observe, to contemplate, to lose yourself in the depth and tranquility of his world. Let the rhythmic brushstrokes and gentle colors lull you into a state of peaceful rest. Allow yourself to drift, to be completely present in this tranquil visual space created by a revolutionary artist. Breathe deeply and let the serenity of Masaccio's masterpiece gently guide you into a peaceful slumber. Now, as the gentle hum of the evening settles in, let's drift away to the Renaissance, to a world of soft colors and graceful lines. Imagine yourself nestled amongst rolling hills, the Tuscan sun warm on your skin, the scent of cypress trees in the air. We're going to visit the paintings of Sandro Botticelli, a master who captured the very essence of beauty and serenity. Close your eyes and let the soft curves of Botticelli's paintings embrace you. Feel the gentle sway of the figures in his Primavera, like a slow dance under a blossoming orchard. See Venus, born from the sea foam, her delicate form emerging from a giant scallop shell, a pearly softness against the deep blue. Her hair, a cascade of golden waves, flows around her like a gentle stream, mirroring the rippling water. Notice the careful detail in every curl, each strand seemingly weightless, yet full of life. Observe the three graces, hand in hand, their movements flowing effortlessly into one another. They dance with a rhythm that seems to lull you into a peaceful slumber, their ethereal beauty a whisper of dreams. Their garments, draped in flowing silks and light fabrics, suggest a lightness and freedom, almost as if they might be carried away on the soft breeze. The colors, muted yet vibrant, evoke a sense of springtime awakening, a world reborn in gentle hues of rose, green, and gold. Now, let your gaze wander to his Birth of Venus. The wind, so gently depicted, seems to caress her body as she emerges, unfurling from the shell like a flower unfolding its petals in the morning light. The cherubs flutter around her, their small wings a soft counterpoint to the majesty of the goddess. There's a quiet power in her pose, a serene acceptance of her arrival into the world, a sense of peaceful destiny. Feel the gentle movement of her hair and robes as the wind embraces her, a whisper of fabric against skin, a dreamlike scene unfolding in slow motion. And then consider his religious works. The Madonnas are not austere figures, but mothers full of tender love and compassion. Their faces, framed by delicate halos and flowing veils, radiate a quiet serenity, a gentleness that speaks of peace and devotion. Their expressions are soft, conveying a profound sense of understanding and maternal love. The angels surrounding them flutter with almost imperceptible movements, their wings painted with such delicacy you can almost feel the soft brushstrokes on your fingertips. The colors in these paintings, often muted blues, reds, and gold, evoke a sense of sacred space, quiet contemplation, a sanctuary where worries melt away. Let Botticelli's artistry soothe you, lull you into a state of tranquility. Feel the weight of the day lift from your shoulders as you drift off to sleep, embraced by the gentle curves and ethereal beauty of his masterpieces. Let the soft colors and graceful forms weave themselves into your dreams, a peaceful slumber under the Tuscan sun. Sleep well. Imagine yourself transported back to Renaissance Italy. The sun warm on your skin, the air filled with the scent of cypress and olive trees. We're in Florence, a city buzzing with creativity, and at the heart of it all is a young man named Leonardo da Vinci. His name whispers across the centuries, a promise of wonder and invention. He wasn't just a painter, you see. Oh no, Leonardo was a whirlwind of curiosity, a mind that never stopped exploring. Picture him sketching furiously in his notebooks, filling page after page with swirling designs, anatomical studies, and notes on the flight of birds. He observed everything, from the delicate curve of a smile to the powerful muscles of a horse. He wanted to understand how the world worked, from its smallest details to its grandest mysteries. Let's start with the paintings. Close your eyes and let the image of the Mona Lisa gently settle in your mind. That enigmatic smile, the subtle play of light and shadow on her face. Leonardo mastered the sfumato technique, a blurring of lines that gives his works a dreamlike quality. It's as if the figures are emerging from a soft mist, inviting you to gaze, to wonder, to lose yourself in their ethereal beauty. And then there's the Last Supper. The drama, the tension, captured in a single unforgettable moment. The arrangement of the figures, the careful placement of each hand and gesture, it all tells a story, a powerful story that continues to resonate centuries later. Imagine yourself standing before that fresco, feeling the weight of history, the quiet intensity of the scene. Let the image fade gently, as if the colors are softly dissolving into the memory of a dream. But Leonardo's genius extended far beyond the canvas. He was an inventor, a visionary who dreamt of flying machines centuries before they became a reality. Imagine his sketches, intricate drawings of helicopters and airplanes, designs that seemed impossible at the time. They hint at a mind that dared to defy the limitations of its age. Picture those drawings, gears and levers, wings and propellers, swirling gently in your mind. They're not just drawings, they are a testament to the boundless imagination of a truly remarkable man. He also delved into the human body, a world of mysteries that fascinated him deeply. Leonardo performed countless dissections, meticulously documenting his findings in detailed anatomical drawings. He explored the complexities of the human form, the intricate network of bones, muscles, and organs. Imagine his hand, steady and precise, tracing the contours of a human heart, a brain, a hand. Feel the delicate weight of knowledge resting in his skilled touch. His notebooks are a treasure trove of ideas, sketches, and observations on everything from botany and geology to military engineering and hydraulics. Each page is a window into his restless mind, a testament to his insatiable curiosity and boundless creativity. You can feel that restless energy, feel it settle down, slowing into the quiet rhythm of your breathing. As you drift off to sleep, let the image of Leonardo da Vinci remain with you, a gentle reminder of the power of human curiosity, the beauty of artistic expression, and the enduring legacy of a truly universal genius. Let his quiet genius soothe you, his creativity lull you. Breathe deeply, let go of your worries, and drift gently into the peaceful realm of dreams. Imagine yourself standing before a giant. Not a frightening giant, but a magnificent one, sculpted from cold, hard marble. This is Michelangelo's David, a figure so lifelike you can almost feel the tension in his muscles, the quiet strength held within his poised stance. He's not merely a statue, he's a testament to the human spirit, ready to face any challenge. Feel the weight of his gaze, the subtle curve of his shoulders, the delicate detail of his perfectly rendered hand. Let the image settle gently in your mind, a calming presence in the quiet of the evening. The marble, once a rough, unyielding block, has been transformed by Michelangelo's skill and vision into something breathtakingly beautiful. It's a story whispered in the stone, a tale of David's courage and the artist's profound understanding of the human form. Consider the sheer dedication, the years spent chiseling and refining, the unwavering focus that allowed such a masterpiece to emerge. As you drift closer to sleep, let the image of David stand guard, a silent sentinel of strength and grace. Now, let's move to another work, equally powerful yet profoundly different. The Pietà. Here, the grandeur is replaced by a poignant intimacy. Mother and son, Mary and Jesus, locked in an embrace of sorrow and love. Michelangelo's skill is again evident, the gentle curve of Mary's form, the serene expression on her face, the weight of her grief subtly conveyed through the subtle slump of her shoulders. Observe the delicate drape of her clothing, the way the light seems to caress the stone, bringing a warmth and softness to the scene. Notice how the figures are positioned, a study in balance and harmony. The slight tilt of Jesus' head, the careful arrangement of his limbs, every detail speaks volumes. It's a scene of immense sorrow, of a mother's grief, yet it holds a powerful beauty, a quiet dignity that soothes the soul. Imagine yourself gently cradling the image in your thoughts, feeling the weight of its emotion without being overwhelmed. Michelangelo, the master, the sculptor who commanded stone to take on such lifelike form. He saw potential within the rough, unworked material, a hidden beauty waiting to be revealed. He brought to life not just statues, but emotions, stories, and the very essence of humanity. The smoothness of the marble, carefully polished to a soft glow, is a tactile experience you can almost feel even in your imagination. Let the softness of that imagined touch quiet your anxieties and lull you into peaceful sleep. Let the images of David resolute and strong, and the Pietà, tender and sorrowful, slowly fade as your awareness bims. The weight and grandeur of Michelangelo's artistry will remain, a comforting presence as you drift off into the quiet embrace of slumber. Breathe deeply and allow the serenity of these magnificent works to guide you towards a peaceful night's rest. Sleep well. Now, as the evening deepens and a gentle slumber begins to call, let us drift away to the sun-drenched landscapes and serene faces of Raphael. Imagine yourself standing before one of his masterpieces, the air still and warm, the light filtering softly through a high arched window. We'll admire the balanced beauty of Raphael's paintings. Lose yourself in the gentle harmony of his colors and forms. Notice the way the light falls on the Madonna's face in the Alba Madonna. It's not a harsh, dramatic light, but a soft glow, like the first rays of the morning sun kissing the dew-kissed petals of a flower. The colors are muted, calming pastels, a whisper of rose, a gentle blush of peach, a quiet serenity of blue. There's a sense of peace here, a feeling of quiet contemplation that settles over you like a warm blanket. The figures are arranged with such effortless grace, each one perfectly placed within the composition, creating a visual rhythm that is both pleasing and restful. Your eyes are drawn from one figure to another, flowing gently across the canvas, as if carried along on a slow, meandering stream. Consider the School of Athens, a vibrant celebration of classical learning, but even here, amid the bustling figures and architectural grandeur, there's an underlying sense of harmony. The perspective is carefully crafted, drawing your eye along the receding lines of the architecture, leading you deeper into the scene, yet never overwhelming you. The figures are engaged in lively discussions, but their gestures are measured, refined, their expressions thoughtful and contemplative. The colors are rich and warm, but they never clash. They blend together seamlessly, creating a visual symphony that is both stimulating and soothing. It's a world of balanced energy, a place where intellectual curiosity and graceful composure intertwine. Perhaps you are drawn to the Sistine Madonna, a powerful yet tender image of the Virgin Mary. Notice how subtly Raphael balances the divine power of the Madonna with the delicate vulnerability of the Christ child. The angels at her feet, with their cherubic faces and gentle movements, add a touch of innocent joy, counterbalancing the solemnity of the central figures. The colors here too are carefully chosen, creating a sense of depth and luminosity. The dark, rich background emphasizes the luminous skin tones of the figures, drawing your attention to their expressions, their delicate gestures, their quiet strength. In each of these paintings, and in countless others, Raphael demonstrates a masterful understanding of composition. His figures are never cramped or awkwardly placed. They move with a natural grace, inhabiting their space with a quiet confidence. The colors harmonize beautifully, creating a sense of unity and balance. The overall effect is one of serene beauty, a calming visual experience that soothes the mind and eases the soul. Let the gentle rhythm of his compositions lull you into a peaceful sleep. Let the soft glow of his colors melt away any tension, any worry. Breathe deeply, and let the beauty of Raphael's art guide you into a restful, dream-filled night. Our journey continues beyond Italy, to Northern Europe, where the Renaissance took on its own unique character. Imagine, if you will, the crisp air of the Low Countries, the scent of wood smoke mingling with the rich aroma of spices from distant lands. Here, the Renaissance wasn't just about grand palaces and classical sculptures. It bloomed in a different way, a gentler, more intimate bloom. Think of the painstaking detail of Flemish painters, artists like Jan van Eyck. He didn't paint idealized figures bathed in the soft glow of the Italian sun. Instead, he captured the world as it was, with all its minute imperfections and breathtaking reality. Picture his portraits: the glint of light on a polished surface, the subtle texture of a velvet cloak, the fine lines etched on a weathered face, each brushstroke a testament to patient observation. These weren't just paintings, they were windows into another world, meticulously crafted, each detail a tiny story waiting to be discovered. You might find yourself drawn to the work of Hieronymus Bosch, a master of the fantastical. His canvases aren't filled with classical gods and goddesses, but with dreamlike landscapes populated by strange creatures and symbolic figures, a visual tapestry woven from morality tales and the anxieties of his time. His paintings aren't meant to soothe. They invite you to explore the hidden corners of the imagination, the places where the mundane meets the mystical. The familiar turns strange and wonderful. Let the imagery unfold slowly in your mind, like the intricate detail in his own canvases. Across the Channel, in England, the Renaissance arrived with a different flourish. Instead of focusing solely on artistic expression, the English Renaissance saw a blossoming of literature. Think of William Shakespeare, whose plays still resonate with us today, centuries later. His words, rich in imagery and emotion, paint vivid pictures in our minds, conjuring up bustling marketplaces, moonlit forests, and the turmoil of human passions. Let the sonorous rhythm of his language lull you gently to sleep, the cadence a soothing current carrying you away. The Northern Renaissance wasn't a simple imitation of the Italian style. It was a unique flowering, drawing inspiration from classical learning, but filtering it through its own cultural lens. Think of the illuminated manuscripts, painstakingly crafted with vibrant colors and intricate designs, each page a tiny masterpiece. Imagine the towering cathedrals, their stones soaring towards the heavens, testaments to faith and artistic skill. These weren't just buildings, they were expressions of a society's beliefs and aspirations, carefully constructed, patiently perfected. Even the everyday objects of the Northern Renaissance speak of a different aesthetic. The intricate carvings on furniture, the delicately crafted silverwork, the rich tapestries depicting scenes from mythology or history, all these elements contributed to a world imbued with beauty and craftsmanship. Let the images of these creations drift gently into your subconscious, each a comforting thought as you drift towards slumber. The Northern Renaissance, with its own unique blend of realism, fantasy, and meticulous detail, offers a counterpoint to the Italian Renaissance. It shows us that the creative spirit doesn't follow a single path. It blossoms in myriad ways, adapting and evolving according to its environment, its people, and its time. And as you gently drift off to sleep, remember these images: the meticulous detail of Van Eyck, the surreal visions of Bosch, the powerful words of Shakespeare, and the breathtaking craftsmanship of the Northern Renaissance artisans. They are a comforting tapestry woven into the very fabric of history, a quiet and beautiful backdrop to your slumber. Imagine a time, not so long ago in the grand sweep of history, when books were painstakingly copied by hand. Each letter, each carefully formed word, a testament to the scribe's dedication. A single book, a precious artifact, could take months, even years to create. And so, knowledge was a rare and precious thing, held closely by the few who could afford to possess it, or who had access to the monastic scriptoria where these treasures were born. Think of the quiet hum of concentration in those dimly lit rooms, the gentle scratch of quill on parchment, the scent of ink and aged paper filling the air. A peaceful scene, yes, but one that limited the spread of ideas. Then came Johannes Gutenberg, a quiet craftsman from Mainz. He wasn't a king or a general, not a celebrated artist or a powerful priest. He was simply an innovator. He took existing technologies, the wine press, the coin punch, papermaking, and with a genius born of careful observation and experimentation, he combined them into something utterly transformative, the printing press. Picture it, movable type, small blocks of metal, each bearing a single letter or symbol. Arranged and rearranged, they formed words, then sentences, then paragraphs. The press itself, a sturdy frame of wood and iron, a machine that replicated those carefully chosen words with incredible speed and precision. No longer did the painstaking work of a single scribe dictate the pace of knowledge. Now, hundreds, thousands of copies could be made, quickly and efficiently. The impact was subtle at first, a ripple in the still waters of European society. Then a growing wave. Suddenly, the Bible was no longer a treasured possession of the wealthy and powerful, a text whispered about in hushed tones. It was accessible, available to anyone who could afford a copy, and the ability to read it, to interpret it personally, spread like wildfire. Think of the quiet revolution this sparked, the quiet turning of countless pages, the hushed murmur of discussion in homes and villages. The printing press didn't just spread religious texts. It disseminated scientific treatises, legal documents, political pamphlets, works of literature, and countless other forms of knowledge. Imagine the thrill of holding a newly printed book, fresh from the press, the crisp pages whispering with possibilities. Think of the intellectual energy that was unleashed, the burgeoning of new ideas, and the flowering of art and science. It was a silent revolution, unfolding slowly yet inexorably across the continent. A quiet revolution that empowered individuals, fostered debate, and fundamentally changed the way people lived, learned, and understood the world. Let the profound significance of that quiet hum of the printing press, the gentle click of the type, and the rustle of newly printed pages soothe you into a peaceful sleep. Let its legacy wash over you as you drift peacefully into the quiet stillness of night. Now, as the quiet evening settles in, let's drift gently back to the Renaissance, a time of blossoming curiosity. Imagine a world slowly awakening, its eyes turning towards the heavens and the intricacies of the human body. It wasn't a sudden explosion, but a quiet, steady unfolding of knowledge, like a flower slowly opening its petals to the sun. Astronomy, you see, was a central part of this awakening. For centuries, people relied on ancient Greek models of the universe, placing Earth at its very center. But during the Renaissance, careful observation and painstaking calculation began to challenge this long-held belief. Nicolaus Copernicus, a quiet scholar, proposed a revolutionary idea, a sun-centered universe, with Earth and other planets orbiting it. His work, though initially met with some resistance, planted a seed that would later sprout into a whole new understanding of our place in the cosmos. Picture him, late at night, charting the movements of celestial bodies, his quill scratching softly across parchment, illuminated by a single candle. His work, a gentle whisper against the established order, would eventually lead to a vast expansion of human understanding. Then there's the human body. For centuries, anatomical knowledge was limited, often based on animal dissections and ancient texts. But the Renaissance saw a shift. Andreas Vesalius, a dedicated and meticulous anatomist, changed everything. He meticulously dissected human bodies, producing incredibly detailed anatomical drawings and descriptions. Imagine him surrounded by students, carefully exposing the intricacies of the human form, each layer revealing a marvel of creation. His work, De Humani Corporis Fabrica, or On the Fabric of the Human Body, corrected many errors of the past and laid the foundation for modern anatomy. It wasn't a dramatic unveiling, more a careful, patient uncovering of the body's secrets, one precise incision at a time. Alongside these significant advancements in astronomy and anatomy, other fields also saw progress. Think of Leonardo da Vinci, a true Renaissance polymath. His insatiable curiosity led him to explore not just art, but also engineering, anatomy, and even botany. His notebooks are filled with detailed sketches and observations, a testament to his tireless exploration of the natural world. He wasn't driven by a need for fame, but by a quiet, intense desire to understand how things worked. His explorations feel almost meditative, careful study of the world around him. The printing press also played a crucial role. Before its invention, knowledge was often confined to monasteries and universities. But the printing press allowed for the mass production of books, making information widely accessible. Imagine the quiet rustle of pages as countless copies of Vesalius's anatomy text or Copernicus's astronomical treatise spread across Europe, sharing knowledge and igniting further curiosity. The quiet hum of the printing press, a gentle rhythm of knowledge dissemination, was a revolutionary change. The Renaissance wasn't marked by sudden breakthroughs, but by a gradual accumulation of knowledge, a persistent questioning of old assumptions, and a quiet pursuit of understanding. It was a time when thoughtful individuals, often working in solitude, meticulously pieced together the puzzle of the universe, the human body, and the world around them. And as you drift off to sleep, remember this quiet revolution, a testament to the power of patient observation and intellectual curiosity. Let the calm progress of the Renaissance guide you into a peaceful slumber. Imagine yourself drifting on a calm, moonlit lake, the gentle lapping of water against your boat a soothing rhythm. As you glide along, let's travel back in time to a period known as the High Renaissance, a golden age in human history. It was a time, roughly from the 1490s to the 1520s, when the sun seemed to shine especially brightly on Italy, on art, on ideas. Picture Florence, a city pulsating with life, the birthplace of this extraordinary era. Think of Michelangelo, a young man with a chisel in his hand, his powerful fingers shaping the colossal figure of David, a symbol of strength and youthful beauty. Feel the cool marble under your fingertips as you imagine the sculptor, lost in his creative world, the slow, deliberate strokes bringing forth a masterpiece from the rough stone. He wasn't alone. His work was part of a larger conversation, a vibrant exchange of artistic innovation and ideas. Across the city, Leonardo da Vinci, a true Renaissance polymath, was at work. His notebooks overflow with sketches, anatomical studies that reveal the intricacies of the human body. visionary inventions that seem to anticipate the future, and of course, those ethereal, mysterious paintings. Imagine yourself looking into the eyes of the Mona Lisa, her enigmatic smile a gentle guide to your slumber. In his work, we see the merging of art and science, the insatiable human curiosity, and the pursuit of knowledge woven together beautifully. Let the beauty of Raphael's paintings cradle you. Think of his soft colors, his delicate brushstrokes, his depictions of the Madonna and Child radiating warmth and tenderness. In his works, you find a balance, a harmony that is soothing to the soul. Picture his frescoes in the Vatican, scenes from the Bible brought to life with a grace and elegance that have captured generations. The ceiling of the Vatican's Stanza della Segnatura, with its images of philosophy, theology, and poetry, were not just images, but declarations of the value of knowledge. Beyond the visual arts, the High Renaissance was a time of intellectual flourishing. Scholars rediscovered ancient Greek and Roman texts, triggering a new wave of learning. Think of Erasmus, a key figure of this period. He dedicated his life to studying and translating, allowing ancient wisdom to resurface and enrich the modern world. His work pushed intellectual frontiers, his calm voice a steady hand in the turbulent tides of change. The architecture of this era was equally compelling. Imagine walking through the streets of Rome, encountering the majesty of St. Peter's Basilica, a testament to human ingenuity and artistic vision. The grandeur of the buildings reflects the confidence and ambition of the time, yet the buildings themselves also speak of the importance of community and the pursuit of harmony and balance in all things. Breathe deeply now, letting the images of the High Renaissance wash over you. Feel the gentle rhythm of history, the slow, steady pulse of creativity, innovation, and intellectual growth. Let the beauty of art and the elegance of ideas guide you into a restful, peaceful sleep. You are safe, you are calm, you are surrounded by the echoes of a golden age. Sleep well. The sun, a painter of masterpieces throughout the Renaissance, began to set on its golden age. Its light, once so vibrant on the frescoes of Florence and the sculptures of Rome, started to soften, hinting at the coming twilight. The reasons for this dimming were many, intertwined like the threads in a rich tapestry, each contributing to the slow, peaceful transition to a new era. Firstly, consider the very nature of art and innovation. The Renaissance, in its passionate pursuit of beauty and knowledge, had explored uncharted territories. It had pushed the boundaries of human understanding, reaching a peak, a summit, from which further ascent seemed, for a time, impossible. Like a climber pausing on a breathtaking vista, humanity took a moment to simply breathe, to reflect on what had been achieved before considering the next ascent. The sheer volume of creative energy expended over those vibrant centuries left a legacy so immense that imitation, rather than innovation, became a common response. Then there was the shadow of political turmoil. The seemingly endless wars that plagued Europe, the conflicts between powerful nations, the shifting alliances, the constant threat of invasion, gradually diverted resources and attention away from the arts and sciences. The patronage that had fueled the Renaissance, the generous support of wealthy families and the church, began to dwindle as these institutions faced internal strife and external pressures. Think of the magnificent courts, once bustling with artists and intellectuals, slowly growing quieter, their vibrant energy fading into a subdued hum. The plague, a constant chilling companion throughout history, once again crept into the villages and cities of Europe, leaving behind not just a devastating trail of death, but also a palpable fear, a lingering sense of uncertainty. This fear had a chilling effect on the creative spirit, silencing voices and stifling ambitions. The confident brushstrokes of earlier artists now gave way to a more hesitant touch, reflecting the anxieties of the time. And yet, the end of the Renaissance wasn't a sudden collapse, a dramatic fall from grace. It was a slow, almost imperceptible fading, a gentle shift in the prevailing winds. The ideas and innovations of the Renaissance, the emphasis on humanism, the pursuit of knowledge, the celebration of beauty, didn't disappear overnight. They were absorbed, transformed, and reinterpreted, becoming the foundation upon which the next chapter of human history would be written. Imagine a vast, tranquil lake, its waters reflecting the fading light of the day. The Renaissance was like the lake at its most vibrant, its surface shimmering with countless reflections of human creativity. Now, as dusk settles, the reflections become softer, more subdued, but the lake itself remains, its depths holding the memory of that radiant day, ready to reflect the light of a new dawn. The seeds of the scientific revolution were already sown. The whispers of new ideas began to rise above the gentle hum of the past. A new era was dawning, quietly and gently, carrying within it the echoes of what had come before. The Renaissance may have concluded its vibrant symphony, but its melody would continue to resonate for generations to come, a timeless echo in the grand hall of history. Let the gentle rhythm of this transition lull you into a peaceful slumber. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of soft orange and gentle purple, let's drift back to the Renaissance. Imagine the quiet hum of a Florentine workshop, the gentle scrape of a chisel against marble, the careful mixing of pigments on a painter's palette. The Renaissance wasn't just a burst of vibrant color and breathtaking artistry. It was a slow, steady awakening, a gentle stirring of curiosity that continues to ripple through our world today. Think of Michelangelo, his hands shaping the very essence of humanity in his David, a figure both powerful and vulnerable, forever gazing out at us across the centuries. Picture Leonardo da Vinci, his mind a boundless ocean, exploring the intricacies of human anatomy, the mechanics of flight, the very secrets of the universe. His Mona Lisa, with her enigmatic smile, continues to captivate, a testament to the enduring power of artistic expression. These weren't simply artists, they were pioneers, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and creativity, leaving an indelible mark on the way we see the world. The spirit of the Renaissance wasn't confined to the canvas or the sculptor's studio. It sparked a revolution in scientific thought, a shift away from the unquestioning acceptance of ancient dogma. Nicholas Copernicus, gazing at the stars, dared to propose a radical idea, that the Earth revolved around the sun, not the other way around. Galileo, with his telescope, peered deeper into the cosmos, revealing the moon's craters, the moons of Jupiter, challenging established beliefs and opening up a new universe of possibilities. Their discoveries, painstakingly gathered and meticulously documented, ignited a thirst for knowledge that continues to fuel our scientific endeavors today. This thirst for knowledge extended beyond the heavens and into the human body itself. Andreas Vesalius, through meticulous dissection, challenged centuries of anatomical misinformation, producing detailed and accurate depictions of the human form. This groundwork laid the foundation for modern medicine, a testament to the Renaissance's commitment to observation and empirical evidence. The careful study of the human body, both its inner workings and its outward beauty, became a central theme, a reflection of the Renaissance's profound respect for human potential. The Renaissance wasn't just about art and science, it was a cultural rebirth, a rediscovery of classical learning, and a flowering of new ideas. Humanism, with its emphasis on human dignity and potential, became a central tenet, shifting the focus from the divine to the human experience. This emphasis on human potential is something we still feel today. We strive for self-improvement, for artistic expression, for scientific discovery. These pursuits, so central to the modern world, are direct descendants of the Renaissance spirit. So, as you drift off to sleep, let the legacy of the Renaissance linger gently in your mind. Think of its enduring influence on art, science, and culture. Feel the quiet power of its ideas, its unwavering belief in human potential. Allow its subtle beauty to soothe you into a peaceful slumber, a slumber filled with the dreams of a world shaped by its enduring legacy. Sleep well. As we conclude our journey through the Renaissance, let the gentle images and ideas of this transformative era settle over you, easing you into a peaceful slumber. Imagine yourself strolling through a sun-dappled Italian courtyard, the scent of lemon trees and freshly turned earth filling the air. The sounds are muted, a distant lute softly playing, the gentle murmur of a nearby fountain, a quiet hum of contentment. Think of the artists, their hands moving with practiced grace, creating breathtaking frescoes that seem to shimmer with life. Michelangelo, lost in contemplation as he shapes the perfect curve of David's arm. Leonardo, his brushstrokes whispering secrets of light and shadow onto the Mona Lisa's enigmatic smile. These weren't frantic, hurried creations. They were acts of devotion, slow and deliberate, born of patience and a deep love for beauty. Picture Raphael's Madonnas, their serene faces radiating a quiet strength, their eyes reflecting a gentle peace. These weren't just paintings, they were windows into a world of quiet contemplation, a world where the divine found expression in the everyday. Feel the soft glow of the candlelight as a scholar pores over a newly printed book, the crisp pages whispering stories of ancient Greece and Rome, of new discoveries and unfolding possibilities. The Renaissance wasn't just about grand palaces and magnificent works of art. It was also about the quiet moments, the intimate details. Imagine a family gathered around a simple table, sharing a meal, their conversation a low, comfortable hum. Think of the quiet satisfaction of a craftsman, his hands expertly shaping a piece of wood, creating something beautiful and enduring. These were moments of simple joy, of connection, of contentment. The spirit of humanism, that gentle philosophy which emphasized human potential and dignity, permeated every aspect of life. It wasn't a boisterous revolution. It was a slow, steady blossoming of the human spirit, a quiet affirmation of the inherent worth of every individual. As you drift off to sleep, let this sense of gentle affirmation wrap around you like a warm blanket. Let the soft colors of a Botticelli painting paint themselves onto the inside of your eyelids, a soothing lavender sky, the gentle curves of a flowing gown, Feel the smooth texture of marble under your fingertips, the coolness of the stone, a calming presence. Breathe in the scent of freshly cut flowers, their delicate perfume a lullaby for your senses. The Renaissance was a time of great change, of innovation and discovery, but at its heart lay a profound appreciation for beauty, for quiet contemplation, for the simple joys of life. Let this quiet beauty, this gentle spirit, lull you into a deep and restful sleep. Let the images of this extraordinary era fade gently into the darkness, carrying you away on a peaceful current of dreams. Breathe deeply and let yourself be carried away. Sleep well. The wind whispers secrets through the tall grasses of the English countryside, secrets of centuries past. Imagine yourself walking along a dusty lane, the sun dipping low, casting long shadows that stretch and yawn like sleepy dogs. The air is cool, carrying the scent of damp earth and wood smoke from distant cottages. A lone owl hoots softly in the distance, a gentle counterpoint to the rhythmic chirping of crickets. You feel the soft earth beneath your feet, each step a gentle, grounding reassurance. Think of the farmer, Silas, returning home after a long day's work in his fields. His hands, rough and calloused, hold the reins of his tired horse. He hums a simple tune, a melody as old as the hills themselves, a song passed down through generations of his family. He thinks of his wife, Mary, waiting for him by the fire, her smile a warm beacon in the gathering gloom. Their supper is simple, bread, cheese, and perhaps a bit of stew, but shared in quiet contentment. Further on, in a bustling town, a candle flickers in a small apothecary. Elias, the apothecary, carefully measures herbs and powders, his movements precise and deliberate. The scent of chamomile and lavender fills the air, a calming balm for weary minds and bodies. He prepares a soothing tea for a troubled young woman, his quiet presence offering a sense of peace and understanding. He speaks little, but his gentle touch and knowing eyes convey a world of comfort. Across the ocean, in the heart of a bustling city, a seamstress sits by her window, the moonlight illuminating her nimble fingers as she stitches intricate patterns into fine cloth. Her needle moves with a rhythmic grace, a silent dance of skill and dedication. The city sounds, the distant rumble of carriages, the hushed conversations of passers-by, fade into the background as she loses herself in her work, finding solace in the repetitive motion. The night deepens. Stars begin to pepper the inky sky, their distant light a comforting presence. The world slows, settles, and breathes. The worries of the day, the anxieties of the future, begin to melt away like frost in the morning sun. Silas's horse rests peacefully in his stable. Elias's apothecary is dark, the scent of herbs lingering softly in the air. The seamstress's needle rests, her tired eyes closing gently. And you, nestled in your bed, feel the weight of the day lift from your shoulders. The whispers of history, the quiet rhythm of lives lived long ago, surround you, enveloping you in a comforting embrace. The sounds of the night, the gentle rustling of leaves, the distant hoot of an owl, become a lullaby, a soft invitation to slumber. Breathe in the calmness. Feel the relaxation spreading through your body from your toes to the crown of your head. Let the gentle rhythm of your breath guide you into a deep, peaceful sleep. Let the quiet whispers of history lull you into a deep, restful sleep. Sweet dreams.